I was diagnosed with testicular cancer that has spread to my lymph nodes. My out-of-pocket expense max is $9,100 through my insurance. So the expectation is that between now and the end of my treatment, I will have to pay $9,000 out of pocket.
Do you have health insurance available through your job for Noah?
Yes.
Is he currently covered on that health insurance?
Yes.
How much does that cost you per month?
Cost me roughly $217, $216.96, something like that. For
Okay.
medical.
Okay, now that $216.96, is that only for Noah, or does that include anyone else on there?
Because of how the medical insurance works, it covers multiple children, regardless of how many, if it's 1 or 10.
Okay, how many other children does it cover?
I have 2 children that are covered under that insurance policy.
Okay, are you also covered under that insurance policy?
Yes, that's because of the way the insurance works. I'm required to have medical insurance under that to have children covered.
Okay, so for that $216.96 per month that you pay, that covers you and 2 other children and 2 children, including Noah, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so 3 people total.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. Now, where do you currently work, Mr. Ibarra?
I currently work in Port Arthur as a security account manager.
All right. What company do you work for?
Allied University Services, Security Services.
What do you get paid doing that?
Roughly $72,000 a year on salary.
And before that, what were you doing for work?
Before that, I was unemployed from between June and August. And before that, I was a behavioral coordinator at a middle school in Beaumont, Texas, making approximately $51,000 or $52,000 per year, hourly, or $25 per hour is what it was.
Okay, take a step back. Did you say you were unemployed from when to when?
From June 2023 until August, until I started this job with Allied. And I did, I believe it was 1 month that I took Texas unemployment. Might have been
how much was that?
I don't have the paperwork with me, but it might have been maybe $500 total.
Okay. And before June, you were working where?
Green Dot Public Schools at King Middle School as a behavior coordinator, working with the youth.
Okay. How much did you get paid at that job?
$25 per hour.
And how long did you work at that job?
From September 2002 until May of 2023. So 1 school year. I may have been quote unquote employed between June and July. However, we were not working, so I did not get paid for those times.
Okay, so for June and July, were you still receiving paychecks from the school?
No.
So did your job just end at the end of the school year? Or were you let go from that job? How did that job end?
It's very hard to explain because we didn't work because the school was out, but we also didn't get paid if we weren't there because I was hourly. So they didn't have any opportunity for us to work summer school due to their financial issues. So I was essentially unemployed or put on leave until the next school year, which I did not start.
Now, but your paychecks during the school year, did they account for those months that you wouldn't be working during the summer break?
No,
they did not.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. His contract is for a year. And generally speaking, I think teachers are allowed to either spread their paycheck over the entire 12 months or just for the 10 months they're in school.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Ibarra, do you have any extraordinary expenses that will be coming up for you over the course of this next year?
Yes. On November 10th of this past year, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer that has spread to my lymph nodes. So I have had 1 surgery and 2 other procedures that I guess a biopsy and 1 other procedure. We also got a catheter port put into my chest, multiple x-rays, CAT scans, PET scans. I start chemotherapy on February 5th, and it's going to be a minimum of 3 cycles. My out-of-pocket expense max is $9,100 through my insurance. So the expectation is that between now and the end of my treatment, I will have to pay $9,000 out of pocket, $9,100 out of pocket.
Okay. Now, I know that you said this, but you said a lot. So what upcoming procedures do you have?
I have multiple scans throughout this thing, but currently we're going to take the BP cancer treatment, which is a total of 9 weeks minimum. So each session is going to go from Monday through Friday. So I believe it's $500 per session. So at least $2,500 per week is what we're looking at. Now, granted, when I signed the insurance form, that was at 20% insurance, but my insurance says that I actually pay 40%. So I'm expecting to pay $1,000 per day that I take this treatment.
But you said it was 9,000, right?
Yeah, my total out-of-pocket cost. So by the time we hit,
and when does your treatment start?
it starts Monday the 5th next week.
So it's now.
Yes, sir.
And how long do you anticipate that it's going to last?
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to have to pay that entire 9,000 in the next 9 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Slade. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Aaron. Okay. Mr. Abar, do you have any other children?
Yes, I do have one other child, Ethan Elias Ibera, which I have a split joint managing conservatorship, and he stays with me 50% a year.
Okay. Is that child under the age of 18?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Call you next week.
I'll call Miss Nunez. Miss Nunez, what is your full name?
Hannah Karen Nunez.
What is the name of the child that we're here for today?
Noah Liam Ibera.
Do you have insurance available for Noah?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Is it through your employer?
No, I recently applied for Medicaid for him because he didn't have insurance for a couple months, and his insurance usually changes like every month, maybe every 6 months. So I didn't want him to not have insurance. So he has CHIP right now.
Okay. Now, you heard Mr. Ibarra telling us about his cancer diagnosis.
Yes.
Has Mr. Ibarra spoken with you about that?
He has not. I heard it from my son the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay. You haven't had any conversations about how you might make that work with Mr. Ibarra? And no.
No, I have not.
Okay.
No.
That's all I have for this witness. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Call you next week.
And no further witnesses, Your Honor. Stay rest.
I got some questions. Mr. Abar, can you unmute, please?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're currently working for, what is the name of the company you're working for now?
Allied Universal.
All right. And they're paying you $72,000 a year, right?
That's correct, sir.
All right. You're going to be able to continue to work throughout your treatment?
So what I talked about with my general manager is that I will probably be put on leave of absence, at least at the minimum during the week that I'm taking the treatment. I'm thinking probably 2 weeks every treatment due to depending on the side effects. So I'm anticipating
So for the next 2 months, you're going to have some difficult time.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this $9,000 that you're going to have to copay with your insurance, do you intend to pay that in the next 9 weeks?
Yes, sir. I believe that if I don't pay, they won't give me the chemo, the treatment if I'm not.
Okay.
If I'm behind.
So whatever happens,
yes, sir.
by April 1st, it's going to be over.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said that you have medical insurance on you and the 2 children. Do you also have dental insurance?
Yes, sir.
Is that part of that $215, $216 a month, or is there an additional charge for the dental?
No, sir. It's an additional $48.20.
All right,
and I also have
yeah. Unfortunately, the state of Texas doesn't require you to carry eye insurance. Well, I'm
Yes,
glad that you do, but you're not required to do it. But
Yes,
the dental is required, and you said that's $48 a month, and again, that covers all 3 of y'all.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at your divorce. Hold on, y'all.
Yes, sir.
So this job that you have at Allied, Mr. Abar, is that pretty solid? Is someplace you think you're going to be able to, a job you're going to be able to keep for a while?
Oh, yes, sir. I think that's going to be a necessity, unfortunately, given the circumstances with this cancer. And one of my fears is that, with the treatment that I am taking, there are some pretty hard side effects. One of those being that I could get a secondary cancer, a different type. So if all goes well and we can get treated, then I'm probably gonna have to stick with them to cover expenses and.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
Ms. Nunez, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Yes, sir, I do.
What's that?
Prior to on May 22nd, Noah had to have some dental work done,
Mhm.
which came out being a little over $1,000 that I had to pay up front.
Okay.
Going back to the divorce papers, it does say that we are to do 50-50 on anything that's paid out of pocket. So
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Elias had to pay $534. And even if I've messaged him like every month or every week, he still owes $140. And this is from a dental work that he had back in May 2022.
Okay. So,
That's
Ms.
one.
Nunez, I'm very restricted in what I can rule on, okay? In order for me to make
Okay.
a ruling on your behalf regarding unpaid medical expenses, there has to be a specific type of lawsuit filed in my court. That is not before me today, so I'm not allowed to make a
Okay.
ruling on that. Hopefully, Mr. Abar do what the divorce decree advises him that he's required to do, and a lawsuit won't be necessary, okay? But if that
Okay.
happens, if the money is not forwarded the way it's supposed to be, then you have the right to hire an attorney or go through the AG's office and see if they'll file the lawsuit for that additional balance, assuming that it's owed. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But that's
Another
not
thing
before me
was
today,
that,
so I can't rule on that.
okay, that's okay. Before he, I guess, was told that he had cancer, he was not agreeing to the amount just because he wanted to keep it at $420
Sure.
for absolutely no reason. So I don't know if that would have anything to do with it, but apart from that, he also has some ammo business, which he not too long ago sponsored for some shooting event that
Okay.
was posted on social media.
Okay.
So if he's providing free ammunition from his company, I'm not sure how that could be a priority as to why he's not able to pay the child support that he's supposed to, but he can give out free ammo for.
I don't know. That's why it's in front of you, Miss Nunez. So I'm the one that's going to have to make the decision on how much he's going to have to pay.
Yes, sir.
He doesn't have to agree, Miss Nunez.
Right, I understand.
I mean, whether you or I or anybody else thinks that it's the right thing to do is irrelevant. He doesn't have to agree to the terms that the state of Texas tells him he's supposed to do. He can say, you know what, I'm going to take my shot and go in front of the judge. That's his right.
Right.
It's every citizen's right to do that, to take advantage of the legal system that we have.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir, that was it. Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Abar, is there anything else that you think I need to know about this case before I make a ruling?
Well, Your Honor, I just wanted to, to give my part of the portion in regards to this. You know, I just want to say that I do my best to support my child, especially emotionally and being physically there, as well as financially. Even though, of course, I don't agree with a lot of these hearings and, well, the child support, excuse me, that's my work phone.
Turn your phone
I
off, Mr.
apologize
Abar.
for that. I'm gonna turn
Yeah.
this, it's the work one. They almost put a setting where you can't turn it off. But I do appreciate the court considering these extenuating circumstances that I didn't foresee. And it's my job as a parent to be there for my child and support him as much as possible. And then that includes helping his mother as well. So I appreciate the court allowing me to come before you guys and plead my case. And I do request that, due to these circumstances, that's taken into consideration at least for the next year or two until.
Why would it be a year or two, Mr. Barr? This treatment is supposed to be finished by your own testimony in the next 60 to 90 days.
Just because of the amount of money that I have to put out as soon as possible.
You said that it was going to be paid in the next 60 to 90 days. Why would I let it drag on for years?
Well, if over the course of at least a year due to debt, because if I don't have the cash money, I'd have to go to credit
well, see,
card.
Mr. Abar, that's specifically why I asked you if you were going to have this money paid in the next 60 to 90 days, and you said you were.
Oh, yes, sir. Utilizing
Now you're
credit
saying
cards.
that no, that's not what's going to happen, that you're going to take out some type of a debt situation where you're going to pay in installment basis the money that you owe to the insurance company and the hospitals.
I understand, Your Honor.
Right.
Well, I'm glad I was able to say it because, yeah, the thought
Okay,
process
well,
would I
that,
would have
hold
to pay
on,
it with.
hold
Yes,
on.
sir.
Well,
Okay.
that changes completely how I was gonna rule.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that goes, I mean, I was gonna take into consideration that you were gonna lose $9,000 in the next 60 days. And you're not gonna lose $9,000 in 60 days. You're gonna lose $9,000 sometime in the next year or two.
Yes, sir. With
Well,
interest.
that's what, I mean, that's just a debt, Mr. Ibarra.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any specific knowledge, Mr. Ibarra, that this 9,000, that your current job situation is going to change? You're not going to make the $6,000 a month that you're currently making?
I don't know. It depends on how the
Okay.
situation, I cannot, if this cancer does get worse or we have to resort to 6 treatments, then, it may, and I'd say that on the sale of the
Sure.
health thing.
And Mr.
Yeah.
Barr, I want you to know, I do hope that everything works out for you. I do.
Yes, sir.
I mean, but the problem is that I can't set child support, Mr. Ibarra, on what you might do in the future. Okay.
Understandable.
That's what a future lawsuit would be required to take into consideration for.
Yes.
Right now, I have to set child support based on what you earn and what your health insurance is. I would take into consideration the extraordinary healthcare cost that you're going to have, except for the fact that it's an extraordinary healthcare cost of $9,000 that you're going to pay over the next year or two. So, if I'm just looking at it on that basis, we're talking about anywhere from $300 to $600 a month that you have to pay. Well, that's just another debt. That's just a debt. I mean, it's a used car payment. It's cell phone bill. That's what it is. And
Yes, sir.
and while I understand that it is an emergency, or at least a medical cost, Mr. Barr, it's still just a debt. And
Yes, sir.
the laws of my state are that your debts are irrelevant when it comes to child support. Whatever you earn, that's what child support is supposed to be based on.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, like I say, if that was something that you were going to have to pay that, $4,500 a month for the next 2 months, that would certainly have an impact on how I was going to set your child support. But if it's just going to be a debt that you're going to carry over the next year or two, I can't consider it.
I understand that. Well, and I don't even have that money. I mean, I might be able to put, I'm going to put 3,000 this month, but
Right.
I don't know how else to pay for that. Cause I won't, we don't have that kind of money.
Right. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, Mr. Barr, to stay healthy. That's just, and the child, no one needs you to be healthy. I mean,
Yes, sir.
that's neither here nor there. And don't misunderstand, Mr. Barr, the fact that you are or are not a good parent is irrelevant to me in regards to the lawsuit that's in front of me today. The lawsuit in front of me today is just about numbers. It's just math.
Yes.
Okay. It's just math. Whether or not you're a good dad or a bad dad is irrelevant to the lawsuit that I have in my courtroom today.
Understood.
Anything further from the state?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
The court's going to find the court has jurisdiction. The court's going to find, based on the testimony of the parties, that there has been a material and substantial change of circumstance. Based on the testimony of the parties here today, this is the ruling of the court. Mr. Ibarra will maintain the health insurance and the dental insurance on Noah through his employer at this time. I gave him $70 credit toward the health insurance and $15 toward the dental. Child support is going to be set at $800 per month. That did give him credit for one of the dependent. That will be effective February the 1st, today, February 1st of 2024. Court costs due by Mr. Ibarra, but I will give him until, let's say August the 31st of 2024. Does that take care of all the issues before me in this case today, Mr. Slett?
Yes, it does, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Nunez, Mr. Ibarra, what's going to happen now is Mr. Slett's going to send me a new court order. If it matches what I said here today, I'm going to sign it, give it back to them, then they're going to make a copy of it and send it to each of you. You don't have to be satisfied with the ruling that I've made today. If either party is dissatisfied with the ruling, you have 3 business days with which to file a written notice of appeal with the Jefferson County District Clerk's Office. Your appeal has to be specific. You got to tell the district court above me what part of my ruling you disagree with, and you're also responsible for sending a copy of that written appeal to all the other non-appealing parties. Mr. Nunez, Mr. Barr, I appreciate your patience here today. I appreciate your candor, being honest with me. You're free to go. Try to have a good weekend. And good luck to you, Mr. Ibarra. I really do mean that.
Do you believe that the support should modify, or are you objecting to the modification?
I'm objecting. He makes 20-something thousand a month.
I was diagnosed with a stage 5 advanced cancer. and had in the works for 11 months. I almost literally died